Okay, let's learn the last ice. And then an overview from the Teichen HaInyanim. So the last ice page, whatever it is, you have last two ices. Yeah, that is Vav, correct? You went here Friday, but you heard it? Oh, then you heard the reminder.
Listen, part of that, but I heard.
Yeah, we went to we spoke about going contrary to one's even one's nefesh alikis. That's the soldier. Behinde Eisvav. And the Sinus said he bishvin netzach Yisrael. He asked earlier the whole union of the Eibush having a milchama. The Eibush has a milchama. Is anything that could oppose him? And the answer is because there's opposition to us. A Yid finds himself in a milchama, finds himself. The truth is the Eibush placed him there. Therefore, the Eibush is also in the milchama with him. And therefore, the union of Netzach Yisrael, that's the diuk, the eternal one of Israel. Netzach Melashon Nitzachen. The whole midas on Nitzachen is because of Yisrael, because of Eden. I mean, the point is, the whole point of everything is because of Eden. There's a whole Yishtalshalus and a whole Bria, because the Eibush desires a connection to Eden. So the Eitzer is given so that Yidden should be victorious in the Milchama through Midas HaNetzach. Shezeu in Shema'ir Magia Batmus Mahos Lamayla Gam B'Chaya Melech. Midas HaNetzach, as explained, touches the very essence. Even the king's life is ready to surrender for when Midas HaNetzach is expressed, which is total victory or nothing at all. The kavan is the Vishnisav HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So he's addressing this, why this is absolutely total, because this is the Tachlis Abriya. This is the Nisava. At least they did it b'tachtoinim to have a dir b'tachtoinim. Nisava daike, the diak is, Lashla Medesh is Nisava. K'mayim Rabbein Azok, and as the Alter Rebbe said, what's interesting is that the Rebbe Rashab quotes the Alter Rebbe. I don't know if it was known. The Rebbe knew it. I don't know if it was revealed, this vort, Afatayves Kim Kasha. The Eibushter wanted, there's no kashas. The Nukuda is, it's coming from Madregi, where there's higher than kashas. Questions are all part of Bria. Questions are all based on gain and value and time. Where there's, every question implies time. Why is it this way? What was it? What's it going to lead to? Something is always eternally. There's no shaykh kasha. It is, no question. So if a type is kinkasha, because the whole kavanah sabriya comes from a place it's higher than the whole Indian of questions. Atzmus. Kivin shezayin shalmani mekushiyas. It's above the whole gathered of questions. Veinze begeder kolonyoni kusha ve'elam, and the desire comes from atzmus, where there's no dorim, there's no limitations, and no. It doesn't exist. Any union of kusha and concealment. Concealment is something other that conceals. There's no otherness on any level. And this deepest expression of atzmos, I want because I want, just like I am because I am. So this the Eibishter wants us to experience fully dafke in the tachten. In fact, only the tachten can experience that, and the Elyonim can't. They can only experience it via the tachten. For here is where the nisava was at the outset. The shechina was lamata. The tachten shin tachten lamata mimeno. But it explains in the first maimer that the result of the whole golus and the avodah, the ikar shechina lamata is far greater than the chatchila revealed. For this the neshama came down lofty, roof to a deep pit. In order that the person, the Shidi and the Shama should do Aveda in Maise, a Maise or Ike, the main thing, says the Mishnah Pirkei Avos, says the Maise, Shekech Achik Tachten, it's the lowest faculty of man, but that's the whole Kavanas did it betachtoinim, by the Yerid the Zunas Aliyah. And it's through this, the Yerid that the true Aliyah to the Neshama happens. It reaches a level which is beyond the whole ascent and descent, which is all in Giluyim and Oir, Atzmos, hide and ascent, hide and ascent, hide and bligvul gvul. Shetachten nasa dir lo yizbarech, that the Tachten becomes a dwelling place for him. The dugmas dir es Adam, like a dwelling place, a home. Sheba nimtza Adam hadorba b'chol atzmusai. It's not a place of function, but a place where he is expressed in his entire being. He isn't performing, he is in his home. That not only should be revealed in his revealed chayas, the revealed dimension of life, of the life force of creation, but the very etzem achayis be revealed down here. That's how it is in the dira. He's alive, but on the essential level. As explaining Chassidus, why it is that the daladamas of a person is kind for him. We learned about this, if you recall, in Yonish Teres Chassidus. The daladamas correspond to Deva Shuach Neshama Chaya. And they're kind for him, the Yechida, the Etzem HaNefesh, it's the Etzem person. At any rate, the Nekuda is that the etzem chayis of the person is expressed in his ability to acquire something completely outside of him. Halach is an object, a hefker object, and within the radius of a person's daladamas, also in Shabbos, in the laws of Tchumim, he has daladamas. So he acquires a physical object, very external to the radius of his daladamas. And that's because the etzem, which manifests in the daladamas, is manifested most powerfully in the acquisition of a davar gashmi totally outside of the person. As we learned over there at length, but that's the point over here. That the dirib tachtonim is dafke in maise, dafke lamat. Allah has come to become, but much more so the Yechid revealed in the year of the bias in the home, the dira shemaki from making all of that completely embraces him. Here's where the etzem achayis is revealed. So to some degree, it is daladamas, but even more so in his home. And Hilchos Tchumim, his home is his daladamas. It's also kind of a home that's his established. That's where he is mispashet. The general point being that the kavana is the dira, and the dira is where the etzem is found. As we learned in that order there, there's whole depth to it, the whole idea of acquiring something, that it's yours. Acquisition, that it's yours, that it's extension of you. This comes from the Etzem HaNefesh. Kinyan. There's different levels of kinyan. The ultimate kinyan is Kedushin. It's also called kinyan, because that's really where two things become one. Husband and wife, each should become one. It's the emes of kinyan. Chamisha dvarim kona kadosh baruch hu be'lamai. This is my motive of the whole inyan of kinyan, which we learned. Tavshin Chaf. At any rate, there's said of Binyan Shel I'm sorry, Binyan Zen Asa de Kolosin, Asin of the Sin of Meshach Mana Golos. So the making of it, that's the whole of Vedatar Golos. There's said of Binyan Shel Mechama. It doesn't come easy. It's a Mechama. Shezahib, Bechamaim of the Matzav, the Tiferes, Adam, Lasheves, Bayus. Whole kavan is to make a home. So home is the opposite milchama. Home is, the pasuk says, the beauty of man is he dwells in tranquility in his home. So the objective is the tranquility of the home. To get there, it's anything but the home. It's exile. It's disconnect. It's dispersal. Golus. In a parched land. Because Dafk in the parched land. This creates the mind of the Matzav Tzom, Malachon Nafshi Kom, Malachon Psori. My soul thirsts for you, my flesh longs for you. Simple pshat is, I hope to be in holiness and behold you. David the Melech was exiled. He was in Midbar Yehuda, and he's pining for the day to be back in the Mishkan. So the Baal Shem Tov said, Kivishamivi Balai Lula. As the Balai Lula, the Rebbe brings Pirush Ben Azokim. Quotes the Alter Rebbe B'Shem Bein Baal Shem Tov, Cain is halavai b'kodesh. Halavai, when I'm in holiness, I should want you like I want you now. So in Beretz HaKodesh, halavai, when I'm in the Holy Land, which is Hei Becheretz Siyev V'Oyev, the opposite of the parched and tired land. Chazisicha should behold you b'tshuka b'doyle b'oifen that tzamah l'chanavshi with this great thirst that I have now, tzamah l'chanavshi kam l'chapsodi that I have now, k'mei be'eretz Siyev V'Oyev in the parched and tired land. Halavai, I had that then. So he's bringing out that the neshama is longing and pining for the Eibishter. His dafka is thrust into the guf lamato and the whole milchama of megadir b'tachtoni. That's when its essence of the neshama, the essential bond, the true longing emerges. And halavai, in the end, it'll be the geluyim will experience it via the etzem. Kivin, because what's the whole milchama over here? We're in the desert. Sheyeshom, the pasuk describes it as nochash, sort of akra, snake. Sort of is a burning snake. Is another word, a serpent. A viper, the akrov, and the scorpion. It explains there that the nochash kills you because the body gets hot, high temperature, sort of completely burnt up, even greater. Akrov, the body temperature becomes cold. It's a different darkness in Golos. Nochash is excited about the Elam Hazeh. These are the challenges. And sort of he gets ganzen verbrennt, completely burnt up in it. In Akrov, he's cold and dead to anything spiritual, completely unmoved. So this is the Milcham with Tzarech Lilchem, that's the desert. Eretz Yivah, the Midbar Yehuda, with Tzarech Lilchem, bin Yonim, Havchem, we have to fight against things which are the opposite of Kedusha, and to channel them, the Inyan, the Iskafia first to subjugate, and then the Sabcha transform. All this is done when Nitzochen, victory at all costs, no compromise, and there's no, what's the word before? There is no other option. There's no option but total victory. Nitzochen doesn't tolerate an opposition. He wages battle with him and he defeats him. Behind those, it spells it out. It starts off with not to be effective. All the cheshbonis and medidus vagbolis. Just reminded, I told Aaron, you're on. So Aaron wanted to know. Wanted to ask Dovi Hennig, who came from a kind of visions of background. He heard his story. He dropped into Fabrengen, Hellel, Tzemach Tzedek Shul, and never left. He heard the story. The Rosh Hashiva wanted to kick him out, but he called the parents. He's not there to throw him out. So Kolponim, Aaron wanted to know how his parents reacted to him. Ended up being a shliach in Chengdu, China. Visions of background. You say the truth. His mother's father is Shaykhis Lubavitch, but strong Shaykhis. But still, not his father, not his chinuch. So I asked him, was he called me the next day? And he said, actually, there's no problem. I became a Lubavitch, they respected it. Lubavitch is shlichus. He says, I got kickback and resistance from my wife's family, Lubavitches. That was the resistance. Okay, shlichus, we have to go to China. Can't go to Manhattan or Queens. Hampstead. This Rebbe is fighting this all these years. The cheshbonis, medidus vakbolas. It means in kedusha. There's not talking about out there necessarily only that too, obviously, but within Al Yevish. This is 1981 already. Shlichus was broken through, but in the early days was a Muhammad Summah. People were very upset with the Rebbe saying their kids. The kids going who knows where. In those days, communication was virtually non-existent. So Al Yevish Pnei Maligim is a big Milchama. So Milchama that before on many fronts. Al Yevish Pnei Maligim, and not to be embarrassed because of the scoffers. The last is called the scoffer, by the way, is the internal scoffer. How big chassid do you think you are doing this? Etc. Etc. There's the internal scoffer. The last is called boy, and to do everything that he needs with Yida, it starts off with that with Yida, the bottom level of Yida. Then he spoke about this earlier. Adashleim Yerushalayim, Yerushalayim. That's a Netzach, right? Chash Magdula, Vagvura, Vatveres, Van Netzach, says the Gemara Brachas, it identifies what it's referring to in praising Hashem. Van Netzach is Yerushalayim. So Yerushalayim is Yerushalayim, true Netzachen, is rooted in this deep awe. And he's truly in awe of the king, in awe of the shlichus, in awe of the whole mission that's entrusted to him. Then that leads to complete nitzachim. Doesn't love it, love his job. He's in awe of it. That's the foundation. There are moments where you like it too, maybe. But the foundation has to be the privilege, the awe, the gewalt, that the Melech himself needs you. So it starts off with the Yid, and then other Shleimus say Yid, the ultimate Yid, the Mesiris Nefesh Kanal, Vinyan Mesiris Nefesh, as we said before, the Mesiris Nefesh, that leads to complete devotion. Heinish Avidose, Kemesh Ish Tzova, he's avoided as a soldier, Shemesh Es Nafshe V'chayev, he gives over his life, Bishvil Shalamalim is there because of something greater than his own life. Days a pearl, Isarusa de Le'elo. So he elicits this arousal from above, like his arousal from below, which means revealing the treasure within his own soul, which is this awe, therefore the king gives him his treasure. So this is made of this above. Hashem Tzvak is the Eibishter in war. It's Hashem Tzvak is Kashin Nilchem. I'm going to show him. I fight with you. In your willingness to fight, I'm there with you. Nilchem B'Yimad Hashem. And Yikra Tzvak is the Eibishter told Moshe, when I wage war with the Rishoyim, I'm called Hashem Tzvak. Shemagi on Ba'ered Mahus Vatmus Hamelach. So he revisited over here a little bit because there's three things he says. He's Magal his Eitzer, therefore the king gives him his Eitzer. As we said earlier, it seemed from the Maimer that commitment, that's it. You're armed and empowered. And that's then Ba'ered L'mayla Shem Tzvokos. Then not only you get treasures, but the king himself is with you on the front line in the fray of the battle. And mashlich chayim minegel, and he give up his life, even though he's hiding the king's chayis. Means the highest levels of oir. He said before, there's primis achayis higher than chayis agoloi. In the dira, there's levels. The etzem mamish, lechein mafker hamelech eschayev atzmus mamish, is completely invested in the yid with the soldier on the front line. So the commitment elicits, you sign up, you get the treasure, and then not only you get the treasure in the battle, the king is with you, and it's mafker chayev mineged. Shem tzvoka is mamish loichim with rishoyim on the front line. Yeah, it's clear. Final ice Zion. Days in Asagam Binyan Yerushalayim, and this will then bring about the Binyan, the building of Yerushalayim. And the Gemara says, "Vanetzach zu Binyan Yerushalayim." Actually, there's two gears there. One of them is Binyan. Netzach means the building of Yerushalayim. This is what it looks. This Netzachim will lead to what Netzach means. Hein Binyan Yerushalayim Baruch is spiritually building Yerushalayim. through his avodah being Yerushalayim, Yerushalayim, Shleimus Hayira, Yachakach, Gam, and afterwards also, Hamaisa the main thing, being Yerushalayim Kipshutoi, Yerushalayim is built literally, being in the process, Teisha Yerushalayim, open. Tzidkas Pirzoina, his stock is now that it's open. It happened as a result of the other touch of the Gemara Lachri Validation Pizan Ben Ummais, as a result of having dispersed us amongst the nations and elevated all of the sparks, conquered and transformed. All Kidei Dilchem Milchamis Havai Ulanatzech, quoting the Rambam here, describing Mashiach, waging God's wars and being victorious at the Midas HaNetzach, Akshudim Shem Tzvokos, which is all bound up with Shem Tzvokos, Mushreshes Batzim Shalomai, rooted in the very essence of David. So the rebuilding Kipshuta openly was Nasa. Gamin the Netzach Yisolo Yishakavli Yinocha. And then we'll also the fulfillment of the context there that Shmuel told Shaul that the Eternal One of Israel will not speak falsehood and will never reconsider. And the Melucha is going from you to David. That's the context there. Malchus based David. It's the point of the mind. It's in this Mulchama that it's Netzach Yisrael is revealed. Shehu Yavis Hagula Mitzvah Shlema. That Mashiach will bring the complete redemption about the La'ifin Sheyukim Yud, such that be fulfilled the promise. The glory of Hashem is revealed, and all flesh will see. And unto Hashem will be the kingdom. In other words, the kingdom, the complete victory, the Menagid transformed, the God of Mamish, All right, let's look at, you will have it, I think. Together we'll look at just the flow of the Maimer. And then, of course, you have to Chazer. It's a very short overview. So, we'll look at it. Yeah. Everybody has it? You have it in the beginning of your booklet. Or he explains what Netzach means, the Maila, because the Chayr, what does it mean? Hashem has to be wage war and be victorious. There's no tfisas mokem for anything contrary to his will. Why is there a need for God to battle? Answer that since there's a need for Nitzuch and Muhammad by Eden, which are the matter down here, and we have to affect the birur of Edom Hazar, Gashmi, and Nechumri. So therefore, there's the Nitzach and the Maila, and as we just learned now, not just a casual investure, as it were, but Hashem investing is very etzim. The Eitzir of the Melech, what is the king's treasure? All the Makodes you brought there from the Gemara and the Psukim, it's the awe that all of the citizens are in awe of him. Yiras Hashem, he Eitzirah. What's Hashem's treasure? The only treasure he has in this world is Yiras Shamayim. So this awe touches the very king himself. And that's the connection to Nitzachim. Because on Netzach is Yerushalayim. Yerushalayim is Yerushalayim. Shleimus Hayira. Starting with the lower level of fear. And where do we see that lower level of fear is Pasha Kabbalah Soil, not inspired, not in awe, just do what you got to do. So that's also hinted to in the Pasuk, because Netzach Yisrael Yishakav Le'inochem, it says Malchus based David, it's being transferred to David. And what's David? Many levels, but at the lowest level, Malchus is Kabbalah Soil Yira Tata. And from there, he proceeds to Yirei La Shleimus Hayira. And this Oita, this treasure is given to every Yid in order to be victorious in Mulchama. It's in the Yetim, Atzmusim, Mahusay, because that's the Altachas Abriya. The Altachas Abriya is that we should feel his Nisava. We should feel and reveal, the whole world should reflect his beyond rational, justified desire for us. It's crazy desire for us. The Shtuz de Kedusha. The whole world should celebrate that and feel that. Acknowledge it at least. That's the Dira B'Tachtoinim. And for this is the whole Melchama, the Meshach HaDoros and the Nitzachim, which, God willing, we stand at the threshold of. Not God willing, we do. God willing, we should cross the threshold without delay.